Marcel's Olympic Bowl in the EBONIT-CHALLENGE here in Rochester.
Well, the question that I have on my mind is, can Steve Hoskins put that behind him, regroup himself, refocus, and get back to business? I suppose so.
Sure did on that shot. Interesting that in between matches there, he did not practice. He was simply sitting over there trying to get his thoughts back together.
Well, I think he was trying to get his heart rate back together.
Well, you have to do that too. Exactly right, Marshall.
Because he had to be extraordinarily excited after that, as was certainly apparent by his reaction. Our first look at Rick Steelsmth, talented player from Wichita, Kansas.
And a solid 10 right out of the gate.
And there's Bill Suffer, the Vice President of Sales of EBONIT International. And Bill wanted me to say hi to his wife for him, his wife, Joanne. She's going to be out of town for a couple of weeks. And Joanne, Bill says hi.
Cross lane at the 10-pin. Rick has it. Of course, Rick Steelsmth was an All-American at Wichita State. He's won 5 FIQ titles. And he won the ABC Masters tournament as an amateur in 1987.
But Mike, he was the quintessential can't-miss player who, unfortunately, earlier in his career, had some problems with his shoulder, and it really took its toll on Rick. And in fact, it took him off the tour for a couple of years. But he's back, and has been bowling very, very solid this year.
Now, Rick Steelsmth hooks the ball quite a lot, but he looks like a dead straight shooter compared to Hoskins.
Well, he's not trying to. He can hook the ball even more than that if he wants to, but he's not trying to play the big hook. This is a shot that got him here. This is a shot he's going to stay with.
Okay. Hoskins for a quick lead.
And there's the tournament chairperson, Joanne Fournier, as Steve Hoskins does something very unusual. He didn't strike.
Well, he's just glad that that 10-pin didn't stand on the 12th shot.
First spare in a while. Can he handle it? You betcha.
Dead center. Well, even after 2 frames, the difference right now, Steelsmth working on a strike. Hoskins here in the 3rd frame working simply on a spare.
I really think that spare in the 2nd frame for Steve will actually help settle him down even more.
Knocks out the 10.
Rick Steelsmth with the opportunity to take a 10-pin lead in the 3rd frame with a strike here.
And of course, Rick earlier this year won the PBA National Tournament. That was his first singles victory ever.
And it came a lot longer than most people would have thought. Once again, that shoulder problem really took him out of contention for many years, but he's back. And there's a power strike for Rick Steelsmth.
Gives him a quick 10-pin advantage here in the 3rd frame of the championship match.
As we take a look at Rick Steelsmth, a 5-step approach, very solid, little more than shoulder-high backswing, a good reach, nice lift, and watch the 5-pin. Ball takes care of it. All 10 pins are down.
And Rick now using a 16-pound bowling ball, where for years he used 15.
He went to the 15-pound ball because of the injury, but he has gone back to 16, and maybe that extra pound is what he needed to knock the 5-pin out on the last shot. That's got to slide.
Well,
that ball was thumb down when he let go of it. He knows it was a bad shot. Fortunate just to get the 9 pins.
Thumb down meaning?
Meaning he overturned the ball early. Got the ball into an early rotation. Got the ball left of his target. Almost got away with it, getting a Brooklyn strike, but leaves a 6-pin and makes it.
A little sigh of relief there. I don't think he threw the spare ball like he wanted to either.
No, that was a little bit of excitement for a 6-pin.
Right now, Hoskins can take a quick 1-pin lead if he can double here in the 4th frame. Oh, and it crept high. The 4, 7, 10. First time he's missed the pocket in a long time, and he has the full penalty.
Yeah, it looked like that was 2 mistakes. A little slow with his ball speed and certainly left of his target.
Does he give this a shot, Marsh?
I think Steve probably will. He does give it a shot. And he pays the penalty on a strike. He loses a couple extra pins in count. You can see this first ball he threw never got far enough to the right. And with the ball hooking as hard as it is toward the pocket, the split is almost inevitable.
Right now has to put it back together here. 5th frame, lane 33, trailing by 23 pins. No trouble with that lane.
Having a good time on the left lane, but the right lane giving him trouble now.
Interesting, and he had a finish on that lane for the 300 game.
And just went bang, 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 no problem.
Yeah, he did. They were perfect, all 3 of them.
As you can see, Rick's best finish. He won the PBA National Championship earlier this year.
In Toledo, Ohio. And it's Dexter is the footwork of the pros. So now let's check out the footwork of the pros by Dexter Shoes.
As we take a look at Rick's 5-step approach, very steady in his first few steps and really powers into that 5th step.
Nice long slide, too.
Good reaction. Power strike, power approach.
That brought to you by Dexter Shoes. Leading by 23, can bump it up to 33 here.
The biggest shot of the week for Rick Steelsmth. Really wants to climb on him here.
Wow.
And opens the door once again, coming in high in the left-hand lane.
He thought that ball was going to hold pocket, and it didn't.
Well, we'll take a look at this shot. Never gets far enough to the right. Now he's just hoping for a good break and really doesn't get one, leaving the 9-10. Needs to fit the ball right between the 9-pin and the 10-pin. To keep that 23-pin lead, and he does it.
Perfect shot.
Not only does he save that lead, but he keeps momentum on his side, Mike. We'll take a look at a perfect split conversion. Goes the harder ball, puts it right between the 9 and the 10, and a great reaction. Steve Hoskins working on a strike and cut it to 13 on his tough lane.
And again, high. Just can't get it back together right now.
Well, he's kind of lost that right-hand lane now, and I'm not sure he knows exactly what he needs to do.
The PBA introduces their information hotline. That's the latest PBA Tour news is available. Current news, scores for the pros. Await your calls 24 hours a day, and there'll be a chat with the winner of this game 45 minutes after airtime. Just call 1-900-4204-PBA. The charge is only $1.49 a minute. Right now, his only problem is trying to get the ball in the 1-3 pocket.
Yeah, he's leaving the door open for Steve Hoskins. Even though Rick has a 22-pin lead, Steve Hoskins working on a strike can cut into it after this shot by Rick. Well, at least he says to himself, all right, I didn't strike, but I'm back in the pocket. I'm back making good shots again. His lead now 21 pins. Needs to take that hard ball, pick up the 10-pin, and then we'll see what Steve Hoskins can do in the 8th and 9th.
Hoskins, 8th frame, trailing by 21 pins.
Now, this has been his tough lane this game, and he's going to have to finish on this lane also. So here we are in the 8th frame, a chance to cut the lead to 11. I'm pretty sure he's moved a little bit further left. You can see him drift left on the approach. Well to the right. That's it.
So what are you thinking of your Steelsmth right now?
I'm a little nervous right now because you know Steve Hoskins can throw a lot of strikes in a row. He's proved that by his 300 game in the semifinals.
See how calm he was on that shot, too? No real emotional reaction, but if he gets one here, it might be a little different story.
Yeah, I think he might give it just a little more emotion if he is to get the strike here in the 9th frame. Not rushing himself. This to cut the lead to 1. I think the emotion on that shot was the way he struck. Watch this ball as it goes well to the right. It comes back into the pocket. Take a look at the 6-pin, Mike. Just nudges out the 10. That's what got him excited.
Well, now he's only trailing by 1. Steelsmith's got to respond to the challenge.
And he needs to make a good, crisp shot. If Rick strikes out, he wins. There's the first one. Rick Steelsmth, a possible 227. Steve Hoskins, a possible 226. Steelsmith has his own fate in his hands.
And again, lots of things possible here. Either player can win, a tie.
Oh, certainly a tie is definitely very much a possibility. Steve Hoskins takes a look at the scoreboard. Way right. He really trusted that ball. Probably his best shot of the match, Mike. Now watch how far to the right he gets this ball. He's moved in. He's really trusted it. He's letting his swing do the job.
Boy, under pressure, he can't do it any better.
Beautiful reaction. Right now, he's just hoping. He says, I know it threw it good. Will it strike? Gosh, a great shot, but leaves the 10-pin.
Well, if he makes it, there will be no tie.
He makes this, it'll be 216. Will force Steve Hoskins to double in the 10th frame. Important spare. Well, here we go, Mike Durbin. Steve Hoskins needed 3 strikes in a row to shoot 300 last game. Now he needs 2 strikes in a row to be your Ebonite Challenge champion.
Gave it room. Oh, and it struck.
And nothing Rick Steelsmth can do except sit there, and you hate to root against somebody, but I think in this position, he kind of like to see Steve not strike here.
Well, it's amazing how they both 42 games all week. He's both 4 games on television here, all these spars and strikes, and it comes down 1 ball for the win.
And I'll tell you what, I like his chances. He came through in the pressure last game for the 300 game. He's made the proper adjustment, moving further left on the approach, drifting further left. I think he'll strike.
So does he. That ball held.
Well, he was fortunate. The reason he struck was he made the proper move left. He got further in on the oil. Even though he threw that ball left of his target, it held pocket. And Steve Hoskins, if he can just figure out a way to stay behind the line and get 1 pin, he's your champion.
And that's enough right there. Hoskins is the winner. We'll be back to take a look at our winner and receive his check and trophy right after this. Don't touch that remote. A performance of a lifetime. Steve Hoskins is the winner. A check from Bill Supper right there, Vice President of Sales of Ebonite, and the trophy from Marcel Fournier. For Marshall Holman, this is Mike Durbin saying so long from Marcel's Olympic Bowl in Rochester, where, of course, Steve Hoskins is your champion. Be sure to join us next Wednesday for the Mobile One Classic from Bay Lanes in Bay City, Michigan. Stay tuned now for Shell's Wonderful World of Golf with Nick Baldo facing Tom.